We lose again, bro. We finished the season 11-2, and both losses came to Georgia, bro. And both had came to a final last second play. And this time we lose in overtime. Final score 22-19. No excuses. I want to give a shout out to one Georgia Bulldogs fan I know of, Sports Live in the ATL. Congratulations on beating us again. And everybody was bragging about that Sugar Bowl win that we beat Georgia in a non-playoff game. Nobody gave a shit about. And I mean, even Texas fans kind of like, ha ha, we beat them. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't for a college playoff or nothing like that. Now Georgia beat us in a regular season game, and then they beat us for the SEC championship game, which nobody had us making, by the way. But we ended up making the SEC championship game, and we dominated most of the teams on the board except for Georgia. And Georgia won, I think, 7 in a row. Some sick number. But anyways, Georgia takes number 2, and Texas falls to number 5. So the college playoff bracket is out. They have us at 5. We're taking on Clemson, so I have no problem with that. Yeah, they did. Absolutely. But it also doesn't help either, Brandon, that we missed 2 field goals in that game. Our field goal kicker missed two field goals, and no excuses on that. I know he made 4 of them during the game, but still, the fact we couldn't even get any touchdowns is even what hurt us the most. We had many trips within the 30 or the 20-yard line, and we just resulted in field goals. Hey, hats off to that Georgia defense. I thought Texas and Georgia defensively played each other pretty well. The first half in particularly, score was 6-3 at halftime, so it was all defensive game. It was slow, nice, gruely defensive game, and you knew the points were going to come at the second half. I'm like, yep, second half is going to open up. I had to go to work, but I missed it, but apparently Georgia ended up scoring a touchdown. I think because we started the ball for the second half, and somehow they got it back, and then they ended up scoring. So I missed the second half. I did watch the highlights. But, man, I tell you, that running back that Georgia has, I think his name is Entine or something like Entity or Entine or Entini. I can't think of how to pronounce his name. But, God damn it, that running back is just a monster, dude. He's going to be a monster in the fucking NFL. And Beck got hurt going into the end of the first half on a shoulder injury. I wish him a speedy recovery. I hope he gets better. But that Stockton kid came in. I mean, he was 12 for 16, 71 yards, and INT. It wasn't really too much. Georgia dominated us mainly on the ground and pound, the running game. So that's mainly how they got us in the second half. And plus, it doesn't help when we're making turnovers. But, to be fair, they also had turnovers as well. I know Quinn Ewers had 2 interceptions or whatever. But, it is what it is. We only had one really offensive touchdown in this game. That was DeAndre Moore in the fourth quarter. He had a touchdown, but we couldn't get any of our other receivers in the end zone. Like, hats off, that Georgia pass rush is just phenomenal. When Texas and Georgia plays each other, you're gonna get down to the wire on these games, and that's exactly what you got in both matchups. We punched, they punched, and just they landed the hit that just knocked us out. And all hats and all kudos to Georgia. They got a really good defense. They got a nasty fucking pass rush. They got an excellent run game. They just got to figure out the pass game. If they can do that, Georgia has an opportunity probably to win the college playoff, which we will get to that in a heartbeat. I'm not angry that we lost. Like a lot of people are like Texas fans are all like snouty about it. I mean, personally, not me. I'm a very humble guy, and I had some time to reflect back on this game. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Nobody had Texas making the SEC championship game. So as far as I'm concerned, we already pushed the envelope, and we made it to the SEC championship game the first year we left. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to the Arizona State Sun Devils for winning the Big 12. As soon as we leave the Big 12, Arizona State comes in. Well, I mean, they weren't the only school. Arizona came in there, Colorado, Cincinnati, BYU, so on. But Arizona State won the Big 12 championship, so I want to give them a big shout out because, I have love for the Big 12. Part of me still has love for there because I like Baylor, I like TCU, Texas Tech. Oklahoma State. I'm gonna miss all those guys. By the way, West Virginia. I'm gonna miss all you guys. Um, but our new home is SEC, and that's just it is what it is. And we didn't win the SEC championship game, so I guess Oklahoma Sooners are probably somehow cheering in the background for our demise, as we expect that. But we still own the all-time record over you guys. Plus, we whooped your ass this year, so you really have nothing to say to us. I know you're gonna say Boomer Sooner, blah blah blah, but we just completely destroyed you guys. So yeah, so that's all that matters on that. But yeah, we're going to the college playoff anyway, and we dropped to number 5 as expected. I figured we were gonna drop to 5. I wouldn't even be surprised we were going to fall to 7 or 8, but that selection committee came out with the playoff brackets today, and I said, you know what? Why not just go over the list real quick, take a look, see at it, give my opinion as to what I think's going to up happening. And Alabama fans, I see you guys didn't make the college playoff. Everybody kind of had you guys penciled in, and a part of me kind of wanted to see you guys make it. So with that being said, I'm going to talk just a little bit more about this game, and then from there, we'll look at the playoff brackets real quick. I'm not going to stay on very long because I got to go to work. I got a 12-hour shift today. So I got to do 12 hours today, and then I got an 8-hour shift tomorrow. I'm off the next 2 days, so that's where I'm going to be streaming, my vlog and shit like that on Wednesday. So I probably won't make a video till then. Texans have a bye this week, so we don't play. We play Miami next week, who just lost in overtime to the Jets. So we got them next week. So I'm liking our second stride. This is the best time Texans got the bye, and maybe we could pick up some momentum down the stretch. Maybe we can split one with either the Ravens or the Chiefs. Probably most likely the Ravens. Split one with them, and then see if we can get revenge against Titans in the final week. So yeah, we're gonna see exactly what happens here. But without further ado, when you miss 2 field goals, you got to make your field goals, man. And when you're missing them, and that's a recipe for disaster. Based on that alone, that 6 points you give up, that's 25-22. And we probably would have won that game without even having to go to overtime. And so, like I said, missed opportunities on that one. But Texas Longhorns had a good season, so don't ever think, Texas Longhorns fans, that these 2 losses are going to make us look bad. We went 11-2. We had a phenomenal season. This is probably the best year we've had since the Rose Bowl in 2006. You're looking at an 18-year span since the last time we had a season like this, a dominating season like this. Everybody had Oklahoma and Texas, finishing at the bottom of the SEC. Oh, welcome to the SEC, blah, 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 blah. And with the only 2 losses we had were the same team that beat us. So, to be fair, I think Texas Longhorns had a very good season, 11-2, going into college playoff. And we're going to go ahead and go with the bracket. We're going to take a look at it, and then I'll just give you my opinion to who I think is going to win it all. And my next video will probably drop like Wednesday. Like I said, this is going to be a short video. We're going to go ahead and look at the college playoff bracket because I had to pull it up. The selection committee pulled it. And about time we had a top 12 in the college playoff. I mean, they should have done this 30 fucking years ago. The funny thing was, I was watching a OU Texas game. It was a '94 matchup because I'm obsessed with the college Red River rivalry shootout. I mean, we go through like 10 different fucking names, but the announcers were saying in the '94 game. I was watching the entire game last night because last night I was watching it at work, and one of the things the announcer said is he said, in 5 years we're gonna have a college playoff. I'm like, oh man, that didn't age well because we didn't end up having a college playoff till 20 years later after that. No, 30 years later after that. So, but it's crazy how they were talking about college playoff back then, and I'm like, damn. So this is really something that should have happened a long time ago. That they should have had college football is the only sport that doesn't have a path to a championship. I mean, and even in tennis and golf, they have a tournament, and college football doesn't. So with that being fair, finally they have something. It's better than nothing, but I still think that they can improve on it, and I think that I'll give my opinion on how I think they could do that shortly. But let's go over the bracket real quick. So It's on mute. Oh shit, I was on mute the whole time. I was on mute. No. Was I on mute? Did you guys not hear me for a long time? Holy shit, I might have muted myself. Did I? Oh fuck. Damn, I muted myself, bro. Ah. That means I was maybe on mute for about 20 minutes. I didn't even realize that. So how long was I mute for? 5, 10 minutes? Holy shit. Damn. I realized that because I pushed the button here. And then I saw like the mute with the crossover. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I pushed the button again. And all of a sudden, now y'all can hear me. Holy shit. Well, this video ain't going to get uploaded. This will get deleted after this. Oh man. That was embarrassing. Whoa. That was embarrassing. I didn't know I muted myself. Nobody told me. Holy shit. I didn't know I was muted. Nobody told me anything. Holy shit. That means I was talking for 10, 15 minutes and I was muted. Not good. That means this video is not going to stay up. No. I might have to redo it, man, tomorrow. I'll redo it tomorrow. I'll just make it 5 minutes, like 5, 6 minutes, bro. I'll redo it. I won't tell no one. Whoa. And that's cool because I thought that I talked very well in this video, man. I had a lot of energy. And God punished me and said, you're going to be muted, Rose. I muted myself. Man, I can't believe it. God punished me today, man. He just was like, you're going to stay muted, Rose. I didn't even know because I pushed the button because I was showing the bracket for college playoff. And then when I pushed it back, I might have hit the mute button. Oh, Lord have mercy. We play Clemson. we play Clemson in round 1. And then Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame. I'm embarrassed. I didn't know I was on mute, bro. I ain't redoing this video today. This is going to have to be reviewed. This is going to have to be another day. God damn. Wow. What an embarrassment. Finally, I come out with an interject video, and then I was muted. It's like, not fair, not fair, not fair. Life's not fair. That's why I was wondering. I had all these viewers, and like, then they just started going down, and no one's commenting. I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me I was muted, man? Y'all should have told me I was muted. That way, I wouldn't have done it. Yeah, man, congratulations. Like I said, this was a damn good game. It went down to the wire, no excuses. You missed field goals, turnovers. Both sides had turnovers. And like I said, our defenses were just Texas defense, Georgia defense was nasty, stingy on points first half. 6-3. And then the points came after that. Sort of reminds you of the first matchup we had. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, Penn State played Oregon State. Oregon I meant. I'm trying to figure out on 2nd and 1 why Penn State was trying to throw it deep and cause a turnover. I don't get that. That was a dumb play. You only need 1 yard. I don't know. Maybe that was play calling there. Oh, man, I tell you, that this playoffs is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So I'm excited. I can't wait. And we got Clemson coming up in mid-December. I don't know the dates, but, we got Clemson coming up. That's going to be the first round. Winner plays Arizona State. Arizona State winning the Big 12. Congratulations to you guys yet again. And, yeah, I'm going to have to redo this video since I was muted. Not fun. Got a cut on your face, shaven. Yes, I did. I always cut that up. Tell me wrong with that razor. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Shaving is not fun. I wish I could just shave and just never have to do it again. But they say that you got to get laser treatment. You get like laser treatment. Or like women do the waxing. and they wax your back or legs, and then like you don't have to do it again for so long. And then they take part of the root out when they wax it, and then like you do it like 3 or 4 times. I was reading that the other day, and then you never have to wax again, or you never have to shave again. It's like, oh, thank God. I don't know if it works or not. Somebody would have to educate me on that. Maybe I wouldn't know, but if I could like make it to where I never have to shave my face again, absolutely. So the whole beard thing is a trend right now. A lot of guys are doing that. They like that Chris Stapleton look, and that's what a lot of guys are doing. I sort of noticed that they have like that Santa Claus look. That's not me personally. I'm not doing that. Never gonna do that. Not interested. That's not me, man. So I like the baby face clean look. So if I can do that and keep that going, oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna. I don't like facial hair. It's just never. I've tried it before in the past. I just never liked it. It just looked dingy. It's a lot of maintenance. It's having to trim it, having to clean it, and all that. And fuck it. I don't want to deal with it. The hairs intertwine. They pull on each other. I'm tired of it. I just don't want facial hair anymore. I'm done with facial hair. I don't like facial hair. Period. And you see my hair is not long, so I like my hair cut short. So every 17 days, 18 days, it's time for a new haircut. So I like to get my taper fades and, get my haircuts. Your Jags won today. Oh, I saw that 10-6. I picked the Titans, so I took an L on that one. Wow, looks like the Bills might lose to the Rams, which I saw that as a possible trap game because the Rams are actually not that bad. They match up really well against the Bills. That they could lose that game. Wow. As the playoff race starts to heat up, we are. Wow, I can't believe I was actually. Can't believe I was actually muted. I muted myself and I didn't know. So I'm talking and talking. Probably been going on for a while. And now it's like somebody finally told me at the bottom, they're like, dude, you realize you're muted? Like you muted yourself? I'm like, oh shit. So I was probably muted for like 10 minutes. Didn't even know. So yeah, this video is not going to stay up. It's going to be deleted. And then what I'll probably do is I'll make like just a congratulations video to Georgia fans. Keep it short, 5 minutes, preloaded video, and then just upload it like that. I might just do that because it's probably a lot better than keeping this up and people are like, hey, I watched 10 minutes of your video and yeah, you're kind of muted, so like you're not like talking or you're talking, but I can't hear you. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I was muted. Wow, what an embarrassment. I had no idea. Nobody told me till somebody had commented. Missouri is better. Missouri, where are they ranked at right now? There's always going to be that argument about teams that had made it out the bubble that didn't make it. Like, let's take a look at it right now. I want to see the rankings real quick. I just want to see who they ranked out the bubble. I thought Alabama was going to get in. Weren't they ranked like 12th? Well, it says they were ranked 11. Oh, this is probably before the... Well, that sucks. So Alabama's not getting in. Miami missed out. Wow, Miami went 10-2. Ole Miss. BYU had a 10-2 season. And they're out, but of course they didn't win the Big 12. So Colorado missed out. Illinois, I thought, was a good team, but they had lost. If they would have beaten like Oregon that one week, they probably would have gotten in. But yeah, they finished 20th for the season. I like Colorado personally. I like the whole Deion Sanders and stuff and his son. I think it's hilarious. I think it's good for college football, good for ratings. And it would have been nice to see them in the dance, but no, they're going to get a bowl game and probably New Year's Six bowl. But I don't think anybody personally gives a shit about those games. That's why I say college expansion is so important. and I think that they should have expanded the college you know bracket to 16 and just added some extra teams in there and just I mean, I think this is what college football needs, and they've been wanting for a while. Don't see why not. Indiana Notre Dame. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a fun game. Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, the playoffs don't start till the 20th. I think that's like the first game when I looked on the bracket for the schedule. I think that's the first game that's being played. So, like I said, it's like we got like a couple of weeks off till it starts because today's what, the ninth. Yeah. So we got a couple of weeks left, and then after that, we're gonna start the bowl games and all the worthless bowl games we got to watch, and then the college playoff games are gonna kick off semifinals and stuff. So I'm excited for that, man. Yeah, I think eventually Jaguar man they're gonna do a top 16. Absolutely, they have to. I think eventually we're gonna head to that. It's just right now this is just kind of the start. Their foot in the sand. Once they see how popular it becomes and how much money's on the table and how they can turn these bowl games into watchable games. And, of course, there's going to be the gambling side of it. There's going to be all these other, making money off boosters and ticket sales and all this stuff. I think college football is going to realize there's too much money on the table to not expand it. And I think from there, and they're going to say, well, the players play for the joy of the game, not for the money. And I'm like, yeah, that is true. I will give them that. But shit, if you incentivize them and at least give them something, I think that it'll incentivize them to want to play a little harder. Um, for example, like you can, maybe give them like 50,000 a year or something, or like 60,000 a year to play. Like that would be a good incentivize. Just the average player can make that money. College football's making billions of dollars. They can afford to play their players a salary. I mean, because essentially only 3% of them make the NFL anyway, and the rest of them just go off into a career. So you could just kind of you can pay them a little bit of something, and you can send them into the sunset. So it's sort of like a severance pay or like a going away package. I think college players should get paid. Yeah, I agree, Marvin. Absolutely. I mean, hell, you're putting your body on the line, and you're not. And for the 97% that don't make the NFL, you can take that money and save it or invest or whatever, and give them a small salary, and then allow like the rest of the players if they want to get a deal. Like I think yours had like some sort of like commercial deal, and you made like 2 million off of that. It's like they can do that now, so that's kind of cool. You don't have to worry about paying them under the table anymore. Those players can go and get paid. And I just think that college football is there's just too much money on the table for you uh not to give the players money. It just doesn't make any sense not to. There's too much money to be made. See, title is so boring, and neither of them messing with Oregon. Like I said, Georgia won. It wasn't us, so we're number 5. I'm just glad they have a actual legitimate path to a champion now. Like something is better than nothing. So you can go to a bottom feeding school and still have a chance too, or like an underperforming school, and you can still make the college playoff. Like I was talking about this years ago on my channel, because like I even saw the bias in the Big 12, and it was like Texas and OU, and then everybody else is like a distant second or conference. And I'm like, if they don't figure out a way to promote our conference past Texas OU Red River rivalry game, you're never gonna like the Big 12 is always gonna be just some joke of a conference, and it was a joke of a conference for a long time, and you never could promote any other school. And I've always said that they need to do something to promote the Big 12, and Big 12 was just lazy, and they just the committee just kept going with the same format, and the college Big 12 championship was just a rematch of a game that was played prior to the year. And so, you look at the way SEC, even though they get criticized, at least they have a like an actual like legitimate two divisions, and then the division winners meet for the championship game. You couldn't even do that for Big 12. And then you couldn't promote anyone. You only had 10 schools. You refused to bring in anybody else. And it was just, I think Texas and OU they just got fed up with it and just said, fuck it. If you're not going to do anything to promote this conference, why should we going to stay? Which I can understand why they feel that way, but at the same time, I think that what we should have done was you recruited Colorado, you recruited BYU, you brought in Cincinnati, you brought in Arizona and Arizona State. Why not just go ahead and bring in Notre Dame and just beef that conference up and then do the split? And do like the SEC does and do the split and put the teams in the different conferences and have the top two meet for the Big 12 championship game. And you could do something like that. You can promote the conference from within, and then you can compete with the SEC rather than just forming an alliance and forming an elite conference. That's why I was against it. Oregon don't want no point of Georgia promise. Oh, well, I mean, people are coming in here already spewing their opinions to everything, right? Because at the end of the day, it's we got 12 teams in there. So like I said, 12 teams are in the dance. I'm just excited that my team is one of the 12. I'm really excited, man, for college football this year, and I'm glad they got this damn playoff thing figured out. There could be some enhancements to it, but this is just a start. This is a start to something wonderful. I'm predicting, and this is just my bold prediction, I think by 2030, you're going to see a top 16, like somewhere around there. And they'll have to do something to include more conference winners to be represented in the playoffs, and then maybe do some at-large bids for the wild cards. But you probably would have to expand it. I'm thinking 16 to maybe even 24. Like I believe that's where they're headed to. Oregon won't be able to run on Georgia, so a quick passing game will be stopped. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that I think Oregon lacks is they don't have an effective run game, and Georgia's good against the pass. That's what you saw in this game was an effective run game from both Texas and Georgia. But I think Texas was more effective on the pass game than Georgia, but I think Georgia was more effective on the run game. But like I said, Georgia was shutting down our receivers, so we couldn't get in the end zone. So, we're getting field goals every drive, and 3 points can only get you so much. We have 4 field goals, 2, and then we missed 2. So, like I said, Georgia didn't really had to be effective on the pass game because Stockton came in and only threw for 71 yards. So it's not like he just came in this whole second half and just shined. It's just the run game was effective. And Tenney, had 2 touchdowns against us. And, that's all that really mattered, And so Georgia, got some good pass rush, so they shut down our passing game. And so we had to rely on the run game. I don't think we did effective on the run game like we should have. So, it's just this is a ugly, nasty defensive game, especially the whole first half, and then the second half. From there, the points started coming in or whatever, and we went to overtime. So it is what it is. I'm not angry about it. It is what it is. It's way better than Longhorns because Longhorns are overrated, and we beat A&M. So therefore, you're wrong, sir. We beat you. So, and you can say horns down all you want to, but we won. So when we played you, we won. So that's the last thing I remember. We won 11-2 this year, bro. Only 2 losses, Georgia, bro. Come on now. You guys aren't giving us enough credit. We went to the SEC championship the first year. We were in here. Alabama had 3 losses. Come on, man. Stop. That's how you say his name. ETN. Oh. I'm not good with pronunciations. I just tell you that he's a damn good running back. And I think in 2 games combined, he had 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns against us. That's just nasty. But Euros, he's going to the NFL at the end of this year. His draft stock is way too high. He'll be projected top 5. And then the following year, Archie Manning will be a starting quarterback, and he'll probably most likely play 2 years. I hope so. Hope we can get 2 years out of him, because if it's just 1, then that means we have to go with a no guy after that. And I want Archie to play at least 2 seasons with us. I think we at least can get two good years out of him. So maybe this could be his team and beef his draft stock up and go from there. Nah, I don't have any concerns. Nah. We got, like I said, we got a 2-headed monster in a quarterback position, so that gives us, kind of some arsenals there. And if Archie has to play, and against Clemson, so be it. Like I said, we don't play till mid-December, so Eurosy has an opportunity to kind of rest up and then get prepared for the playoffs. So, like I said, we'll be fine, bro. We'll be fine. I'm looking forward to the college playoff. This is the first year they actually had a legit freaking tournament. Although I think it's gonna, it could be tweaked a little. You know, I said there's just too much. There's just too much money in stake for college football not to get this thing right. I think they realize that now, and they've been skipping out on this for 10 or 20 years. I think it's something you can't. I think now they're just so pot committed into it. They're just like, like how can we make this more effective? And I believe they're gonna enhance it to at least 16. That's what you're gonna see in college football. Yeah, December 21st. Okay, yeah, that's when the first slated game. I think there's one game scheduled for that day, if I'm correct. And then on the 20th, I think there's one game, and the 21st there's like two, and then it jumps again to the 31st. There's going to be some games there, and I think again on the 30th there's like a couple of games. I don't know. I saw the schedule or something like that. Yeah. So, like I said, this is going to be a fun year, and it has been a fun year for us. 11-2, I'll take it. We lost to Georgia, damn good football school. They got a great defense. They had an awesome fucking run game and great pass rush. So I mean, it's not like they just were just gunslinging the ball on us. They just beat us more in the run game. That's really what happened in both games. They beat us more in the run. So, like I said, I'm not angry about it, bro. I'm good. We lost against a really good team. We won 11-2. What's there to be mad about? We went to the SEC championship game. Just we weren't the better team, but that's okay because the playoffs is starting, and now we're in that whole like NFL mode where it's the playoffs and one game elimination. I fucking love it. And we got Clemson coming up. This is going to be fun. I can't wait till we play Clemson. And they come to our house, by the way, so that's a home game for us. This is going to be really fun, man. You got 12 schools all playing for the championship, man. A tournament, a path to a championship, man. I fucking love it. No, I don't like this cold weather. No. Marvin said, how you like the cold weather? It fucking sucks. I hate the cold. Like it was cold this morning. Getting off of work, headed to the car. It was like drizzling, raining. And then it was cold. And then you got to heat the car up. And that takes a while. But of course, if you're living up north, you probably are like, well, y'all, it's not as cold down there as it is up here. And that is true. That is true. Like if you're in New York, Minnesota, Illinois, Ohio, where it snows up there. So like you guys got it worse than us. So I can't complain. None of the bowl games now are like the NFL preseason games, only playoffs. Yeah, absolutely. The bowl games never really mattered. It was always that way. Nobody talks about bowl games anymore. Like the Sugar Bowl game against Georgia, like we don't even talk about that. Like we won, that's great. It was great for the time. After about a week, no one talks about that shit. And no one even really cares to. In fact, if you look at Appalachian State beating Michigan week 1 of 2006, that game is more talked about than any other bowl game I could think of. And that's just a regular season game because Appalachian State pulled off one of the biggest upsets in college football history by beating the Michigan Wolverines and Chad Henne and Mario Manningham. And that was one of the best Michigan teams going into that week. They were ranked, or were they 6 or 5 in the AP poll? Appalachian State was ranked at the bottom. They come in Michigan Wolverines and get a win, and that game right there is one of the most talked about college football games of all time, and that outbeats any fucking bowl game. Cordell Stewart and the whole marching band or whatever, or when he threw that full Hail Mary for Colorado. I forgot who they played in that game. It was a '90s bowl game. That game is one of the most talked about games of all time. Nobody cares about bowl games. In fact, you can take Texas OU games, and they'll talk more about those games the Red River rivalry, the history of it, and they'll pull off good games that were played all throughout history, and they're more talked about than any bowl game you'll see. So I think now college football's starting to understand that there's just too much money on the table to not get this right, you know? And whether they like it or not, they're a business. They're competing with the NFL, even though their players are going to the NFL, but they're still competing with the NFL, and that it just is what it is. That's the tell of two wins. Shall I leave this video up or what? Because there's like 10 minutes where I'm mute. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. I didn't know that I left the button on mute. I did not know that. So I'm probably what I'm going to do is I might private this video once it uploads. And then I'll probably do like a congratulations, like a short 2-minute clip. Just congratulating Bulldogs fans doing that, something like small. Just get a couple cheap views. And then from there, move on to the next topic. Alabama's playing Michigan in a bowl. I could care less. Nope, nobody cares about that game. Now, if it was a playoff game, absolutely. Like the one last year, yeah, absolutely. But this year, nope. If it's a bowl game, nope. No one's going to care about it. It'll just be it'll be pretty much an afterthought. An afterthought. Oh, man, I'll tell you. Good season, Texas. Good season. I'm proud of you guys. You guys had a wonderful year. Now we're in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. Imagine we meet Georgia again in the championship game. Lose to them a third time, bro. That'll be 3 times. 3 times we lose to them, bro. Imagine that, losing 3 times. I think I was mute for like 10 minutes, bro. Maybe even longer. I don't know. That shit's somebody just told me. It might have only been a couple minutes. I don't exactly know, but I was mute for a while. It's just kind of embarrassing. I know, right? I had no idea that I was mute until somebody told me in the comments, they're like, something's wrong with your volume. So I turned it up on the volume thing. Maybe it was my phone. And then I looked, I saw a crossbar through the mute. And I'm like, wait a minute, did I push that motherfucker? And then when I pushed it, can y'all hear me? Yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck. I was on mute. Damn it. Because I tried to press the camera angle to show the playoff bracket. And then when I pushed it back, I must have pushed the mute button on accident. It was clearly a mistake. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it does. Imagine the Rams pulling off the upset against the Bills. 24-14, third quarter, 13:50 to go. And what it would be an upset, a trap game. The Rams pulling off the win against Buffalo, which, I mean, the Rams are pretty much evenly matched. And they are 6-6. So they still have a chance to win their division. Absolutely. The Rams pulling off the upset against the Bills. Could it happen? They're up 10 right now and they open up the second half, and they got the football. And everybody's racing for that NFC West title. You got Arizona, you got Seattle, you got San Fran, and the Rams. All 4 of them have an opportunity to win that division, the NFC West. Yeah. Bill's looking ahead to the Lions. Oh. Yeah, I see your Steelers keep playing down to their competition again. You guys almost blew it to the Browns until y'all pulled that late runoff in the 4th. I was like, oh, God, is Mike Tomlin going to blow another game again? Mediocre Mike. Another game to the Browns. Oh, God. But Jameis Winston made sure that happened. I hate Jameis Winston. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has a little bit of talent, but he's so arrogant and cocky, and he sucks. And that's the thing I don't like about him, is his head is way too big than his actual talent is. And when he starts talking shit, I'm like, well, you better start backing it up on the field. And when you're throwing pick sixes and interceptions a lot, yeah, that looks very bad, dude. So, like, the head coach needs to go by and tell him, hey, man, you need to tone it down on the talking a little bit, bro. You need to focus more on the field and get us involved in scoring drives that's going to result in touchdowns instead of you talking shit. It just doesn't make any sense for that guy to open his fucking mouth. I don't even know how he has a job in the NFL still, to be honest with you. He sucks. But He's a great. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. He's okay, but for him to be talking a lot of shit like that, back and forth, and just jawing, and he's throwing picks, it's like, man, his coach need to tell him tone it down, bro. It's like that shit with Tyrod Taylor. But except with Tyrod Taylor, he actually with Tyrod, he actually has talent, and he's a great passer. I think the game has passed him by, but I think he plays to get hurt and holds on to the ball for too long. And with a guy like Tyrod, he's good at like maybe third string quarterback, but I wouldn't bring him on as like a franchise starting quarterback. Texans tried that with him because at the time we had Davis Mills, and so Davis Mills was having to learn under Tyrod at the time. And Tyrod did win us some games. I'll give him credit for that. He won us 3 games. So that was the year we went 5-13 under David Culley. But I mean, if I had no other quarterback right now and I had to start Tyrod, I would. But I wouldn't have Jameis Winston on my roster. Absolutely not. He's too arrogant and cocky, and his talent is just not there. And when you're throwing pick sixes and interceptions, it's like, they need to tell him. I would just tell him, man, just tone that shit down and focus more on the play, on the field, dude. And stop getting involved with other players and talking shit in the media and stuff like that. Just tone it down and let the talent speak, because right now you're throwing all these interceptions and it's not helping. You know what I'm saying? I would just tell him that in a nice way if I was his head coach. You know what I'm saying? And just go from there, because it just the whole like going around and doing this crap, and it's just not good. It's not a good look. And then you're throwing pick sixes on top of that and all these interceptions. It doesn't help. It didn't translate. No, I didn't. I thought Jameis Winston was okay when he first came in the league. I thought he was all right. Maybe a 7 out of 10 or something like that. But then after about 4 or 5 years in the league, he sucked. He didn't progress or get better. It's just Jameis Winston's the kind of guys, if you have he's pretty much like, if you have nobody else to play, then you're like, okay, I guess you can come in, kind of like last second, it's like, fuck, I have nobody else to play. I'm like, fuck, man. And so then you got to start Jameis Winston, and then he starts throwing pick sixes, and then you're like, yeah, I can't wait to find a new quarterback this offseason. So you just kind of the Browns just have to kind of deal with his bullshit till then, and then, he starts talking shit to the fans, and that's just not a good recipe there, sir. And then he throws a pick to a Steelers lineman or something like that. Just a pointless interception he threw right there. You just couldn't help but laugh at it, And it's like, then he says the fans are ungrateful. I would be like, yeah, we're gonna find somebody else next season. Where we'll go on the draft and find somebody else. I'm pretty sure the Browns will draft somebody else that's just gonna fuck it up some more. Front office is gonna make some stupid analytics decisions and go from there. But I'm glad that we got rid of Deshaun Watson though, and got all those draft picks. So Jimmy Haslam, being the criminal mastermind that he is, he actually makes other teams better than his own. I figure if Jimmy Haslam was talented in ripping off minority truck drivers, the same skill level he has at making other teams better, he should use that same analogy and apply it to his own team. But for some reason, it doesn't translate to there. But hey, Jimmy Haslam makes other teams great again. So I appreciate all the draft picks you gave us. So, I mean, basically, if it wasn't for the Browns, we wouldn't have been able to rebuild. So I got to give kudos to the Browns for that. They gave us the house for Deshaun Watson, and they allowed us to. Muad said, "Well, if it wasn't for us, you guys wouldn't be good." I'm like, "Yeah, I actually admit it. That is true. Like, you're right about that, and I appreciate that." I'm not arguing with you on that, brother. I'll give the Browns full credit for that one. They made us the team we are now. So. Your draft picks made us good, so we're straight. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. Like it's some sort of flex or something. I love Moo to death, but he acts like it's some sort of flex. Well, it wasn't for us. Oh, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but you act like that's some kind of flex. I'm like, it should be the other way around. You're like, my draft picks made us we're good on our draft picks and you got the sexual Watson, and he could have just clapped back at us on that. But I'm like, but he's acting like it's a flex that he made us good. I'm like, well, why don't you make your team good instead of making us good? You know. One today, maybe he'll care slightly. Yeah, well, he cares more about AEW fake fighting than he does the Jaguars, and that's a sad thing about it when you got an owner that still got his owner's son who's still got a mind of a child and cares about fake fighting, which is professional wrestling, which is fake fighting. And you care more about that bullshit than you do about your own NFL team that actually is a multi-billion-dollar company than a failing wrestling company. It's like, dude, what kind of loser mentality is that? And it's like, so you cost your fans any excitement on a rebuild in Jacksonville. And that's what I say. I feel bad for Jaguars. I feel bad for their fans because that's exactly what they're going through right now. They got an owner that cares more about AEW, and that's sad. It shouldn't have to be that way. You should say, no, the Jaguars come first, AEW comes second. But no, in his mind, AEW comes more fake fighting. Make it make sense. And by the way, I heard they're not doing that well. So it's like, dude, put your focus on Jacksonville. The Jaguars, a multi-billion-dollar company. Why are you not doing that? Come on. AEW is never going to be better than WWE. Well, of course they're not. I could have told you that. I don't even watch wrestling like I used to. I used to watch them all the time, but now it's just like I watch more like Impact Wrestling every now and then because like one of my favorite wrestlers is still over there. What's her name? Used to be in Decay, Rosemary, and then they gave her another name, and then they just basically brought her character back. Rosemary's one of the very few wrestlers that actually didn't sell out and like sell her soul to be a WWE superstar, which I get it because that's where the money's at. But, I think she should have made a run at the WWE, but, she's going to stay in Impact Wrestling. It's too bad because Impact Wrestling had potential. Early 2000s, maybe to 2010, they were the spike, like when they peaked. And then from there, they just kind of fell off. And then they tried to regurgitate it like 6-7 years ago. And they had like Kevin Nash, and they had the guy who used to walk out with what's his name, Rusev. Coulter. He used to be with Jack Swagger. My bad, I'm tripping. And Zed Coulter was on the riding team, and I'm like, man, they might actually do something here. And they had like a little bit of a spark, and that died off, and just ever since then, it just never was the same. So it's just been kind of dead in the water. Rams up. Oh yeah, Rams are about to win this game, bro. They about to go. What is it? I don't know what the record's gonna be after this. 6-7-6. Yeah, the Bills fell in a trap game, but it's not a trap game they should feel bad about because the Rams are actually not that bad of a team. Yeah, the Rams are not that bad. Like I said, this is gonna be a dogfight for a lot of these NFL playoffs. The NFC's got a lot of talented teams that are in the playoff dance. AFC, I think, is kind of narrowed down to a few. Chiefs, Bills, maybe Steelers, if you want to throw them in there. And that's pretty much it. I think everybody else is just kind of like a crapshoot at that point. So, yeah, it's going to be some really big games coming down in the month of December as we're heading into January. So, yeah, got 13 viewers. What's up? We're at 514. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to keep this video up. Unless people complain about it, I'll take it down because, like I said, it's been muted for a while. So what I'll probably do is just keep this video up. And then I'll be back Wednesday for... Well, no, I got to be back Tuesday because I got to do the picks for Week 15. But that'll be a straight upload. So you're just going to see that as straight upload. It won't be a live. And I'll probably live stream, like I usually do on Wednesdays. Like I usually will do like 3 videos on Wednesday on my off days. And then just do like topics like I always do, like certain topics, shit like that. So I'm sure, knowing in my brain, I'll have something written down. And then I'll say, okay, I'll go with this and comment from there. Usually people will DM me on Facebook or Instagram. They'll be like, "Hey, I got this idea. What about this?" And sometimes I'll like look at it and say, "Nah, I don't like that." Or sometimes I'll look at it and say, "You know what? I'll talk about that." So it just this depends. My live streams have been going hard, man. Like the last one, I think I had like 1,400 views. I think I had like 45 people on my stream, and this was like 4 in the morning. Like I was just streaming, and I did it for like 2 hours, and just was streaming, bro. So yeah, I mean it's fun. I like when sometimes I got something on my mind I want to talk about. I'll just hit the record button and just see what happens. Now it's not really about getting views or subscriptions. I think I'm past that point of becoming a big YouTuber. I think I'm just content with a 15 view stream, something as long as a couple people engage, shit like that, and just enough to keep the views going. I used to stream every day. That just I stopped doing that. I'm glad I did actually because it was taking so much energy and time away. I could be doing something else. Now I work nights, so it's impossible for me to do that. So I just say, well, now my off days are my days where I can do that, and depending on what the topics are, conversation wise, I can go from there. And do that. So yeah, my last couple live streams have been pretty good. So I was able to get ton of views on them, ton of likes. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's up. Then my next stream will be probably Wednesday. I might do something on Wednesday. I talked about Social Security, death of Social Security. I talked about becoming a nation of thieving and stealing and conniving and manipulating, which that's actually is because that's why I said customer service is dead in this country. And I made a whole video on that. And then what did I talk about the other day? I did another video the other night and that got the 1,400 views. You got to go back in my archives, check the live stream. The last one, it's that one had like 1,400 views. So 40-minute stream. That's the one where I think that was the one where I talked about. I think I privated that video, if I'm correct. That's the one where I talked about how people are rude and disrespectful, out of the pocket type shit. Yeah, that I did talk about that, but I deleted it for various reasons. Just because I felt like it was too personal. I should have chose my words a little bit more precisely. So I'll have to redo that video, but probably reword it, if that makes sense. I have to be very careful, you know what I'm saying? People's things you say on here. So you have to word it in a sense to where you get people to understand it, but at the same time, you're not trying to target anybody or you're not trying to call anybody out. You're just trying to keep it professional, but at the same time, this is what's going on, sort of ordeal, respectful manner. So I realize now that's the age of time we live in, and it just is what it is. I can't try to change it. It wouldn't make any sense for me to try to force it, and I'm not making any money off this, so why do I care to keep it up, I'll just keep the good videos up and the bad ones are been deleted. So like over my channel over the years, like that's why you don't see a lot of my old videos. They've been private or deleted. So I'm trying to, be more professional in my videos now versus just, spewing all types of shit, So that's how I'm doing it now. So that's how I'm moving going forward. So it is what it is. Rams up 31-14. All right, guys. Well, I got to head to work. I had a 12-hour shift to work, so I'm already running late. I'll probably just make it just on time if I leave now. So I got to change, get dressed, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Y'all take care, man. Bye.